I'm going to start this video off with a disclaimer. I am not a PGA pro. I don't give golf lessons. I don't make money from giving golf lessons. And I definitely don't make money playing golf. With that said though, my putting game has been on fire recently. And I'm going to show you the 3 things that I've been working on as a mid-handicap golfer that has made my putting game better than the average tour pros. And no, I didn't just buy a L.A.B putter. Let's get into it. Putting is very simple. If you start the golf ball on the correct line with the correct pace, the ball will go in the hole. But we all know how hard this actually is in practice. Practice being the key word here, because anyone can be a good putter. We don't need high swing speed. We don't need to be able to hit the golf ball very far. We don't even need to be athletic to be the best putter in the world. All we need to do is practice it properly. And the first thing we need to get right is our start line. If you know for sure that you've started the golf ball on the right line, then figuring out why you've missed the putt becomes very, very simple. You've either got the green read wrong or you've got the pace wrong. But if you're not confident that you've started the golf ball on the right line, then it's impossible to know why you've missed the putt. Trying to figure out which one of the 3 elements you got wrong is really, really hard to do. But if we can get our start line absolutely spot on and be confident that we can start the golf ball on the right line, it's a hell of a lot easier to figure out your putting. Notice that I'm not on an actual putting green. You don't have to leave the house to work on your putting. All you need is a few golf balls and a putting mat. I've chosen the 6-foot putt-out putting mat. I like this mat because it's easy to check to see if my putter is square at address, which is absolutely vital if you want to get the ball started on the right line. It's on a perfectly flat surface, and if I don't hit the golf ball with a square club face to my target line, it's going to miss. A 6-foot mat is perfectly long enough. You don't need to go with these extra long putting mats. If I'm not square at impact or if I add side spin to the golf ball, I'll miss this putt. So you don't need to go with expensive mats that are taking up too much real estate in your house. Just a nice, simple putting mat. As long as you can check that your club face is square to your target line, that's all you need. There are so many training aids out there that are designed to help you with your start line or your strike. And on top of that, there are so many videos out there all around putting techniques about how to stand or where to look. Like so many pointless things to a certain degree. Because the fact of the matter is, if you looked at the top 10 players that have ever played the game of golf and you looked at all of their putting strokes, you'd see 10 different putting strokes. The only thing they had in common was their ability to start the golf ball on the right line with the correct pace. It's that simple. Anyway, I went on a bit of a rant there. The point of it being is that just swing your swing. Your putting stroke is your putting stroke. As long as you can hit that golf ball with a square club face and with a good strike, then you're able to start the golf ball on line. The easiest way to monitor your strike is with a classic end over end roll. If my club face isn't square to my target line, then the ball won't roll end over end. On top of that, if my club path isn't square to my target line, then the ball won't roll end over end, even if it goes in. What we're looking for is a perfect end over end roll. Quite nearly missed. Nice and simple. And the Taylormade Tour Response is the perfect golf ball for watching your putting strikes. And that's all I work on at home. I'll hit putts like this over and over again until I miss. My record this week is 57 putts in a row. And it's a very simple drill for your putting. All it takes is a bit of practice, so don't read too much into techniques and don't spend too much money on training aids. If you can roll the golf ball end over end and hold 6-foot putts without thinking about it, then you are perfectly good at starting the golf ball on your desired target line. And like I said earlier, if you're confident of that fact, then there's only 2 reasons why you're missing putts. Let's move on to reason number 2. There's no way around it. The only way to get better at putting is by practicing. But who actually wants to practice putting? It's so boring. And I'll be honest with you, I don't feel like I actually practice putting that much. But the practice I do is really effective. And I love simple and effective putting practice. It means you don't have to spend too much time on it. I was given one simple drill to practice my pace control with putting, and it has changed my putting forever. James, the head pro at Spalding Golf Club, gave me this putting drill, and the only time I do it is on the putting green just before I go out and play a round of golf. All you need for this drill is 3 golf balls and about 10 minutes before your tee time. Standing on the putting green, I will hit 1 golf ball anywhere on the green. Long, short, it doesn't matter, anywhere on the green as long as it's not towards a hole. For the second ball, the goal is to make sure that I hit that ball further than I hit the first golf ball. That's all you're focusing on, hitting it past the first golf ball. And finally, for the third ball, you need to make sure that that ball finishes somewhere between the first ball and the second golf ball. The tighter the 3 balls are together, then the better your pace control is. I'm literally doing this drill before I head out onto the golf course for a round of golf. I'm not dedicating hours of practice towards this pace control drill. I'm sure if I did, then I'd be a hell of a lot better than I actually am. But by doing it before every round of golf I play, I'm making sure that I'm practicing my pace control on a regular basis. But on top of that, I'm practicing on the day of the round of golf. I should know how fast those greens are on the day I play. And I should have a real good feel of how they're gonna roll. After only doing this for a few weeks, I'm convinced that this is the only way to practice pace control. I've tried all sorts of different drills, ladder drills, hitting it to the edge of the green, all these kind of different drills, but this is the one that has really helped me dial in my feel. So next time you're on the putting green, hit some short ones, hit some long ones, hit some sideways ones, do whatever you want, but stick to that rule. The second ball has to go further than the first, and the third ball has to finish in between the first 2. So, you've got your start line nailed, and now you're hitting putts that have a chance of going in the hole, but without leaving yourself 3 to 4 foot knee knockers. Your pace is dialed in. The only reason you miss putts now is because you're reading the green wrong. And herein lies the problem. Every green is different, and there are so many different ways to read greens. I'd love to adopt aim point as a way of reading greens, but it does feel a little bit stupid for a 10 handicapper to be standing on the green, holding up fingers, reading a 6-foot putt to make bogey. My green reading practice is a lot simpler than that. Maybe not as effective, but definitely simpler. On the practice screen, I'll line the ball up straight at the hole and I'll hit a putt and watch it break. I'll make a mental note of how far that ball broke, and then I'll have a quick glance at reading that putt in a normal way. I'll do this on a few different holes on the putting green before I head out for a round of golf. The idea is that I'm building up my feel and I'm building up my experience of how to read greens. Then, out on the golf course, I'll have a good understanding of how my putts should break on the day. Don't get me wrong, this might not be the best way to read greens. Aim point might be the best way to read greens. But the whole point of this video is that if you know that you can start the golf ball on the right line and your pace control is really good, then you can read the green any way you want that brings success. For me, simplifying the green read allows my brain to do the reading for me without having to really think about it. Here's an uncut look at how I read greens. I don't put a huge amount of effort into it. All we're trying to do is hit the ball as close to the hole as possible. We don't need to be overly critical, and we don't need to overanalyze the line. In fact, if we do overanalyze it, we can get in our own way. The brain wants to put the ball in the hole, so let it. Let the subconscious do its thing. I use the line on the golf ball and I point that line where it feels right. And as long as you roll that ball end over end on your target line, the ball will always have a chance of going in. Like I said at the start of this video, I'm not a PGA pro. I don't give golf lessons. I don't make money from playing golf. I'm just a 10 handicapper who happens to be putting like a tour pro at the moment. And these are the 3 things that I've been working on to improve my putting. And I figured it would make a pretty good video for every other average golfer out there. So give these 3 putting ideas a go and let me know if your putting gets better. And considering that you're still here and you haven't got bored of my voice or bored of this video, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you next week for another video.